Was one of those turn out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're live.
Oh. Hello. Happy Saturday, everybody. Wow, I've had a whirlwind of a day. I'll tell you guys about it in a bit, but good day. All good, but man, I've been like going all morning. It is really bright out here. So, it's gonna be rough. Like, man. When I say, I hope it'll be a little bit, this is like, I'm enjoying the sunshine, that's for sure. But I can barely open my eyes right now. The sun is like, like, good Lord. But it's nice to have sun. The backyard's shady right now, so that's why I've been coming out here. Not a lot of room here, though. Hit that darn thing. Okay, I'm gonna do a little nunchucks. I have enough room. Move closer. Don't want to hit the hummingbird feeder. Alright. Okay, I'm good. It's pretty chilly still here in Vegas, but the sun is pretty nice. It's supposed to be warming up. It's supposed to be 80 degrees next week, I guess. Really. Woohoo! I'll take it. I have my boots on. These are the ones I wore to New York before the last pair of boots I got. And they're great, but they're the kind of heels that make noise, which irritates me. These are the ones I fell. Imagine that. Because they're pretty slick. When I was drunk that time, I ate it hard in these shoes. When it was windy, the wind just knocked me over. But yeah, I did the whole trip in these. They're like pretty high boots. You guys can see. Like the heel. That's the only shoe I wore in New York City. Like I walked all around New York City. I traveled like, on the plane. Everywhere I walked, I walked miles in New York City. And these shoes, more comfortable to me than flats. Not the weirdest thing. But I hate when they make a noise. Because you like just do, like I'd be walking and just clink, 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 clink. Some girls like that. I feel like I'm like not trying to make a grand entrance every time I'm walking. So be like, I like the noise. I don't. I have so many good things to tell you guys. After I'm done with these, it's good to do some nunchucks. It doesn't take long to feel the burn, like to kind of feel, because it's a good strengthening thing for your arms. And it's your whole upper body. Like it's like you work a lot of muscles that you don't normally work. So you strengthen like these small muscles, that don't really get strengthened very often. And it's good for coordination and balance. I just do the figure eights. It's just my thing. I could learn to do more stuff than nunchuck, but I was like, this works for me. I just enjoy this, and it just feels good just to kind of get up and do a little nunchuck. So it's not trying to be too serious about it. It's just kind of so fun. I always like to do things for fun. Like I've never liked like working out if it was like, it's killing you. I'm like, I like working out. It was kind of nice. Like, and I've done like working out where it was super intense, like certain classes. But it was like I used to do this heat class, but that was still fun to me. It was like the circuit training thing. It was many years ago when we used to go to the gym. But I've never liked the idea of like when people are like just straining themselves so hard where it's not fun. I'm like, it doesn't have to be like that. If if you're So anything I do, if it can be kind of fun, I try to make it fun, instead of like, I don't know, just really, it's not a lazy thing. It's just like when I did track in high school, I never won because I was like, the best I could get was fourth because I honestly didn't give it up my all because I was like, I'm just having a good time running. I did the mile, the 2 mile, and the 800, and my track coach would be like, Joy, I know you can run faster than that. You're not even trying. I'm like, well, I'm having a good time though. because I'm like a naturally really fast runner, that me at my just not really trying is faster than most people. But if I tried, because my dad used to run a 4:19 mile. I only did like a six. What was it? It was high school. It was 6:20 or 6:30 something. It was 6:30. I think it was 6:35. That was the number, 6:35. But it's been a long time. That was when I was a freshman in high school. Because I only did track 1 year because I wasn't a fan of track. My dad loved track. I'm like, nah, I don't want to feel like I'm 80 years old. It was really painful when I was like, I was like, because I had never had that kind of pain, like from like working out until I did track. And I was like, oh, this is not fun at all. Because I love running. Not anymore. I don't mind running, but particularly. But yeah. In high school, I was like, nah. But anywho, so I did cheerleading. Primarily. Imagine that. People are like, you're such a cheerleader. I'm like, I know. I was a cheerleader for many years. Imagine that. Okay. Alright. Did a couple more night checks and I was done. I was supposed to tell you guys about today. It was a really good day. Alright. That's good. I'm a public squat. I don't know how close you guys are to me. We should probably come out and fix it if it's too far away. Alright, hopefully the sun isn't too bad in my eyes. I might have to get, I don't think that would even help. I was going to say one of those umbrellas, but I don't think I could block it. I don't like if I have to like squint my eyes because that's just like, it looks terrible. So let's see. I think if I turn a little bit, that could work. So look at the heels of these things. I walked all around Manhattan. It really wasn't that bad for me. I remember a couple of days it being like, it'd be nice if I didn't have to wear those huge boots. But other than that, like if I was like tired. Because I brought nothing, that was all I had. Like it was that and my like dress heels for work. Because I could only bring 2 shoes. When I go to Manhattan, I can only bring 2 shoes for it. Because I don't like to do check-on bags on the way. I just like to do carry-on.
They want to know, are you going to get your chip tomorrow?
Yes. Okay, yeah. So I want to tell you guys. Yes, today is well, this was the thing I was so confused about. So today is technically day 30, but I haven't completed 30 days today. So it's only day 29. But I kind of had it confused. I was kind of saying that wrong. But yeah. But you don't get your chip till you've completed 30 days. So I was talking to my sponsor about it today. And then also I went on the grapevine and it said 29 today. So I've completed 29 days. So yesterday I was saying that it was day 29, but that's because it was the like start of day 29, you know? Like when I wake up I go, okay, this is day 29. But you haven't completed 29. Now today is day 30 to me, but I haven't completed 30 days. So yeah, it's tomorrow. So I'm going to pick up, I'm really excited actually. I'm like getting really excited because I'm going to my one meeting tomorrow, and then I'm going to go back to the one with my sponsor on Monday. So I'm going to pick it up on both days because I go to 2 totally different meetings. And there's already people coming on Monday with my one with my sponsor to for me they're like, oh, I'm going to come on Monday when you get your chip. But yeah, today was such a special day. So, oh my gosh, it's actually getting warm out here. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, look at that. I can be able to roll up my sleeves soon here. Maybe I'll scarf soon. Crazy day. We left the house at 4 a.m. and I didn't get home till like 11:30, which for me, with the things we do, we're normally not gone for like more than like 2 hours, usually with anything we do, you know, because we spend a lot of time at home. So it was a long morning, but in a good way. So I worked. And then we went to the meeting, and then I was supposed to meet with my sponsor, but at the meeting, my sponsor was telling me there was this guy that they've known for many years that now lives in Salt Lake City, that he comes to celebrate his sobriety birthday every year here because this is where he got sober. And this was his home group. the one I go to every other day, where my sponsor is. And she said, so it's his 23 years today. So she said, we're going to celebrate his birthday. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. She had let me know. She had texted me. And then so that happened today. And me and her were supposed to meet immediately after the meeting. And I went up to, go talk with her. And she was there. And my grand sponsor, which is her sponsor, which I love her now. She's so sweet. First, I wasn't sure about her. I'm a little... But she's awesome. She's just wonderful. She has 49 years of sobriety. She's a wonderful old lady. But they were talking about they were all going to go to breakfast. And then my sponsor said, oh, well, I'm meeting with Joy, so I'll have to catch you guys there. And I said, oh, no, you should totally go. Because the guy came from out of town to celebrate his birthday, and they were all going to go to breakfast, And I said, we can meet another day, because this is really important. He's visiting, and this is your friend. They've known him for years, And she said, are you sure? I said, yeah. She said, well, you should come with us. And I was like, okay. So I went to breakfast it was about 7 of us. It was me, my sponsor's husband, my sponsor's sponsor, which I call my grand sponsor, the gentleman that got the 23 years, one other gentleman from the meeting that he had known him, and then the other lady that co-chairs with my sponsor on the day. So my sponsor does a day that she chairs the meeting, and the lady there's 2 people that do it. The other lady that she was there. So how many? Was that 7 or 8? It was really fun. It was a little awkward for me because they all knew each other for years. I mean, like 25, 30 years. Some of these people have known each other, and I'm like, I know just my sponsor for 3 weeks. I've known my sponsor for just 3 weeks, and none of these other people. So it was interesting for me, but really good, and they were wonderful. And we went to Denny's, which, so in AA, you're supposed to work on being positive and not negative and not complain and stuff. It was pretty funny because I think I'm gonna take this off now. Actually, I think I can go without this scarf now. It's warming up out here. Start taking layers off of here. The one lady that chairs with my sponsor. It's hard. I want to say their names, but I don't want to say that. So it's I have to. He was complaining so much because we had the worst service. It was Denny's, but it was the worst service ever. The lady, we couldn't get waters. She didn't give us silverware. She wouldn't refill our waters. None of the food came out at the same time. Not even close. She didn't even know what anyone had. She did not. She had to ask everyone. She was giving all the food to the wrong people, and completely wrong. She'd be giving someone's toast to someone else, giving the whole plate wrong. But even she had no ideas with the sides. And I'm like, she didn't look like she was new though. But we're like, what is going on? Are you drunk? But I ended up getting a sirloin little steak. It was a breakfast little sirloin thing. It was about this big little sirloin steak, and it came with eggs and hash browns. And I just ate the sirloin, and I ate the eggs, and it was really good. And it was one of my first times really eating at a restaurant, and not having any issues with my digestion. But steak and eggs I can handle. But that's why I have such a strict diet, because my digestion's so messed up. So it went really well. I had no issues, and wonderful time. My sponsor ended up talking to me for a really long time because I was kind of a little bit left out. They put me in between everyone, so I wasn't sitting on the end. I sat in between my sponsor and her sponsor. Joy, you sit in between us. So they were trying to really include me, but I still a lot of times just kind of sitting there listening to everybody because I would try to smile and interject, but I didn't know a lot of the people they were talking about. But my sponsor also talked to me a lot, and not about, normally we just talk about AA. She told me all about all of the jobs she's ever done and a lot about her life, and she's done so many things. And she, I always wanted to do something, on a plane, and that's what I first did when I was in the Air Force. I was on the AWACS plane, but after my mom died, I didn't want to stay in the Air Force, and but I was crushed because I really love flying. I love flying. That's the part of it I did going to New York, is getting to fly again. I love flying. A lot of people don't like flying. I love flying. I've never gotten sick flying. And I in the Air Force, you do air refueling, which the plane, they take it out of autopilot and they hook it up to a tanker, and giving us tons of gas at the time, and the plane goes. You have to put your head down because you get pretty dizzy, but you can't be walking around, and you have to be seatbelted in during that time. But and we have like serious seatbelts in the military. You don't just have like a little strap. You do that. But I love flying, and she was a flight attendant, but she was telling me she didn't become a flight attendant until she was 45. She has done all these other jobs. So I don't know. I just kind of felt inspired because she's like, you can still become a flight attendant. She's like, you're only 40, right? I was like, yeah. She's like, I didn't become a flight attendant until I was 45. I was like, wow. So I think she might be. She looks so much younger. I found out her husband is 75, but this is her second husband because her first husband died when she was 25. And she's had a crazy life. He fell through a roof as a roofer that it was done wrong. Like, there was supposed to be like something that he could walk on, but instead they didn't have it, and he just walked in. It was like the thing that looked like there was something, but there was nothing below it, and he stepped and fell through and died to his death when she was only 25, and they had 4 boys. And so now she has her second husband, but I think he's older than her, but he looks so young. But it turns out he's 75. She told me today, and I'm like, what? He looks like he's like 45. I'm like, this is amazing. That's what I was trying to say the one day. I was like, man, people that have been sober for a long time can look really good. Because a lot of them decide to be really healthy too. There's some that are sober and don't choose to, eat healthy or whatever, and, then you might. But it seems like a lot of the people that get sober decide to be healthier in a lot of other ways in their life, But she's huge into sports. She loves hockey, which I'm not big into hockey, but guess what? She loves the Dodgers, and they're insanely huge Dodger fans, and that's my number 2 team. My number 1 team is the Mets. Number 2 Dodgers. But I didn't know any of this stuff because we're just meeting just so many. She was an Air Force brat, which means her dad was in the Air Force. She wasn't in the Air Force, but she grew up on Air Force bases, and I was in the Air Force. It's just like all these things, and I'm like, I just really feel like it's just so special. Like Richard's like, I can't believe like these people like accept you. Like he gets a little bit pushed away at that meeting because I don't know why that meeting just kind of like enveloped me. But the other meeting I would say probably envelopes him a little more because it's a lot of dudes. Like Richard texts like almost all the dudes in the meeting like every day. They all stay in touch, and then he goes to these men's meeting with 2 a week with that same group pretty much. So Richard's all tight with all the guys over there, but it's a lot of men over there. And there's a handful of women, which I tell you guys, the one lady is offering to give me a souvenir from New York. I don't know if she might forget, I don't know how often she goes to and from New York. She says she lives in New York, but she's always in Vegas. So I don't know how often. But when she's not here, she's on the Zoom, because we have a Zoom for that. It's our other meeting. That's the one without the one with my sponsor, we don't have Zoom. The one without my sponsor, we have Zoom, which means people can, they join the meeting in the sense of there's a time that they get to share. They let the people on, and you see their photos and stuff. They're not just the photos. If they show their photos, they don't get to share. If they're showing their video, they get to share. They have to have their video, and then you get to look at them. But I just don't think going to the meeting from the Zoom would be as good for me. But it's great that the people have that for the people that can't. Some of it's good for the people that like are injured and can't come in, or if they're out of town. Some people, when they move, they still want to be a part of their original home group. And so, like there's this one lady that now is in our group, but she's from San Francisco, and she Zooms her San Francisco group, but also comes to our group in person. So, but anyways, what was I talking about that? I don't remember what the point of that was. I don't know. Totally lost my train of thought about. I was talking about the Zoom, but yeah, I'm just really excited about tomorrow. Oh, I'm really excited about that group really are like Rich's buddies, and then this other group is a lot more women, and then I found my sponsor over there, so my sponsor has been like introducing me to everyone, and like today Richard left because I was gonna go. We went to the meeting together, but then he left because I was gonna meet with my sponsor. But then she said, "Oh, you should have Richard come back, for the breakfast." But I knew Richard was heading to Artie to make breakfast for going tonight because he was probably even home by the time we had, because we were all chatting after the meeting before we decided to all go to breakfast. And I say, "Oh, but I asked Richard, I was like, you don't want to go there too?" He's like, "No, not really." But Richard likes going to the breakfast with all the men, where I usually don't like going. I went the other day for a couple of minutes, but because it wasn't just men. There was actually several women that time, but a lot of times it's just all the men that go to breakfast. So lots of people all meet after the meetings, go to breakfast. And I just, me and Richard are going to a breakfast speaker meeting in a couple weekends. It's in March, actually. It's in March. We bought tickets for it from my sponsor. She was selling them for they're like $10 tickets. It's like a donation, but they want you to give them $10 because they want to give it for free because it helps AA. And so I bought 2 of those today, and so I'm excited. But I don't know. I really feel like I have a feeling with them, and it does feel like it's like my mom and dad. Like that last meeting, not this meeting. Richard didn't want to do it again, but the meeting before. So I go every other day. I see my sponsor, and then every other day I go to the other meeting, because the times are conflicting. If I could go to both meetings in the same day, that would be absolute heaven. I mean, like, I'm sad today that I didn't get to go to my other meeting. Like, I literally go through like withdrawals of like that group. Like, I'm like, really miss them. And what happened? We had to leave early. Oh, okay, so Tuesday and Thursday we go to the same, it goes like this. So we go Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, one meeting, and then we go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, another meeting. So it's every other except for the Tuesday, Thursday we go. Anyways, because it has to do with like when my sponsor was at the meeting. So anyways, but when I'm not at one of the meetings, I do miss them. But so they're at 7 and 8, but they are too far apart to ever be able to go to one and go to the other. So we have to decide. But I actually like when it's the 7, because I hate waiting till 8, because I've been getting up so early these days that I'm like, the 8 feels like so late. I'm like, oh man. That's why it was good today, because actually I like worked a bunch this morning before, which is such a blessing, because like we didn't know how we were going to make it through the weekend. It was pretty, dicey. Vegas been kind of, you're still hit and miss. And then all of a sudden, this morning and everything worked together. And then all the timing just lined up perfect. And then we got to the meeting. And then, the meeting was great. And then I went to the breakfast, which was a little awkward for me, but was great. And it's so good for me to socialize. And then my grand sponsor, which is my sponsor, I got my number, which is kind of an honor when this lady, she's literally like 49 years sobriety, and everyone like loves her. She's like, everyone knows her, and she's like, let me get your number, Joy, because I'm gonna congratulate you tomorrow, because I got my 30 days. But so I texted her today, and she's just like really sweet. But it just feels really nice to kind of be welcomed by everybody. But it's a little scary for me because I always fear rejection, and I always feel like, oh gosh, what's going to happen? And, so I have a hard time when I start to get close to people, because then I think, like, well, when's the ball going to drop? And then, they're not going to like me, or something's going to go south. But it usually happens only when I'm drinking. Usually too many things don't go too south if I'm sober. Like, it just seems to be that way in life. But yeah, I'm really excited about this 30-day thing, because for one thing, it's been really long, because, it took a lot more than 30 days to get my 30 days. It took 2 attempts in AA since I started AA. Way more last year, as you guys know, but I wasn't in AA then. So this has been more like, so by the time I get my coin tomorrow, it'll actually be like 54 days of going to AA. So I would have been done a long time ago. Because I really didn't want to, sorry, I broke this week. I didn't want to drink again after I went back to AA. And then I messed up on day, I think it was day 24. No. Yeah, day 24. Yeah. Or maybe even day 25, somewhere in there. Because I got sober December 28th. And then I messed up January 22nd, so whatever that is. But now we're at, I've completed 29 days. I like to say I'm on day 30, but tomorrow I'll have completed 30 days. So that's why I was like a little confused if you like pick up your coin day 30, because you haven't actually completed 30 days. But no, you pick it up. But technically you pick it up day 31, because that's when you've completed 30 days, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited because In my one group, the one without my sponsor, they do not mess around there. They are like hardcore AA. We're like, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, where they talk, you know, they're like the big book numbers kind of things. They don't like when people relapse. Like, there's some meetings that say, oh, just keep coming back, or, you know, just if you go out, come back in. They're like, do not leave, and it's unacceptable if you're sober to leave. Like, 'cause there's no reason. You're making a choice to go back to alcohol, like a conscious sober choice, you know. And so this is gonna be. I'm very, very excited tomorrow, because they're gonna be very happy, because they are pretty much getting pretty irritated with the fact that me and Richard are still raising our hands. So I finally, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, told them which day I was on, and they were like, oh, finally, because they were kind of being like, because they don't know what day you're on. You just keep saying you're under 30 days. And so I did tell them a while back that I had relapsed, but then they didn't know what day I was on now, and they're like, probably thinking, did she relapse again? You know, because they didn't know, because they don't know unless someone is literally, you know, keeping track themselves, which people don't keep tabs on each other that way. That wouldn't be right unless you wanted them to. Like, it was your sponsor if you wanted them to, but that would be taking someone else's, you know. You don't do that. You know, you don't have to take accountability for other people. You know, that's the whole, you know, AA thing, is just taking accountability for yourself. You know, don't be. It's not your business what's going on in the other people's life. You're just there to try to help keep each other sober, but not like, you know. You're really not supposed to judge. You're really not supposed to pry about things that people don't want to. Like, what I like about there is people don't ask too many questions. They let you share. You know, like in what I like to say, regular life, not AA, you know, when you meet someone, they're going to probably, you know, prod you with a bunch of questions. You know, just rattle off a bunch of things, blah, 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 you know, whatever the standard questions are. They don't really do that in AA, because they know that people will share what they feel comfortable with. And so it's nice, because you're not like normally when you meet strangers, you're kind of bombarded with, like, I don't know if that happens to you guys, but with me, I feel like it. And some of the immediate questions I don't like to answer, like, what do you do for a living? You know, like some of the, and then no one asks that, and I like that. So just let everyone be themselves, because it's about being sober. It's not about what other people do. You know, don't take other people's inventory. So I really like that about A, but it is funny because people do it, because, you know, we're all human and progress, not perfection, right? But it's nice because people are trying to not. Does that make sense? So, like, in a lot of walks of life, people are trying to judge. Like, they just are looking for, like, let me just go around judging. It seems like that's what social media is. Let me just go judge everybody, you know? But in AA, people are generally trying to not judge. So they're making, like, an extra effort to go out of their way to, like, let you be you, you know, and just support whatever you need for your sobriety, you know what I mean? And I like that, because, as you guys know, like, I get a lot of judgment, and it just feels good. But it's still scary for me, because I still feel like people will judge me or whatever, you know, but nothing I can do about it. But for right now, it feels nice. I know, like, it came on YouTube, man. Oh my gosh, my client, so they showed me this video of his cat that it gets into the cupboards and knocks out, there's like a little baggie of, like, cat treats. He knocks it out of the cabinet and kicks it on the floor, and then goes on the floor and, like, somehow gets in it. But it takes away for everybody. He filmed him doing it. It was the cutest video. Because you're like, what is he doing in there? You knew he was doing something up to something, and then all of a sudden, here comes a bag, drops on the floor. But it took him a while to be able to, like, get it out of there and kick it on the floor. But they squeezed himself in this little cupboard, like one of the cupboards in the kitchen that kind of, like, you know, you can kind of get your paw under it, you know. And then he swings it open, he gets in there, and then you know, you hear this rummaging around, but you can't see him because he closes the cabinet on himself, you know. And then all of a sudden, you hear something drop on the floor, and then there's the treat, and then down pops him, and he then starts. It's just cute. Cats are hilarious. It just reminded me of little Casper. Casper's doing really good. He's been so sweet lately because I've been home a lot. I mean, I've been busy, but I mean where I haven't had to go to New York or LA. Ow, ow, that's a pokey plant. So I think his overall mood has improved because I think he was getting really stressed the more I was gone because we're really close. Me and Casper cuddle like all day long. Sometimes I almost am like, Casper, I got things to do. Don't you have things to do? Because I always say, bunnies say, they get busy. Like, we'll cuddle sometimes for like 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden he's like kicking you off. Like, oh, you're busy, you got things to do. But he's funny, like, and me and Rich always say, he's like, sometimes he's the most loving thing. Otherwise, other times he does this to me, like, literally pushes you away. Like, he backs away from you and stuff. And he's like, nah, go away. He just has so much character. He's very expressive of what he wants. Like, we know exactly what he wants all the time. He thinks we don't because, like, when we won't give him his kibbles, he thinks we don't understand. We're like, no, we understand, Casper. The vet just said you can't have him. And he starts throwing his bowl around. But he's getting used to it now. He now goes and reluctantly eats the hay if we won't give him the kibbles. And he kind of, like, gives us a look. And he's like, fine. Because Richard got him, like, the best hay you can get. Like, he finally will eat some hay, but he's like, it's the last resort when he's like, and he like begrudgingly goes over to his hay bowl and he like keeps looking at us like, you sure you're not gonna give me anything else? Okay, you sure? All right, fine. And then he like eats his little hay like one little strand at a time. Like, sure, nothing better than this? All right. It's like, looks like he's like dying. We're like, Casper, Mr. Drama Queen, Drama King. He's hilarious. He's the best bunny in the whole world. I don't know what my life would be without him, and it was so crazy, like, the time recently when he got aggressive, and a lot of it was probably just my perception, too, so out of it, and it's just crazy, because I got so worked up. He scared me, because he bit me that one time really hard, but that's when he wasn't neutered. He now just, like, nibbles on you, like, on your toes, but he can hurt you. He's got the claws, and his teeth are sharp. But once he bit me that one time, I still have a little fear when he gets aggressive. I'm like, because he charges at you like a bull when he's angry. And he's a little bunny, but they can get, you should see other bunnies have like ears ripped off and stuff. They can get crazy out there, the males. But I love him so much. He's been so mellow lately. We were giving him too many of these treats, or we were hyping him up too much. He's turned like into a junkie for the bunny treats. Literally, he wasn't even bathing himself. He was like, I was like, jeez, this literally looks like a human junkie, what they would do. I mean, his bunnies keep themselves clean. He was all like frazzled every day. And he was like running around like a crazy maniac, and all he wanted was a treat. And if we didn't give him a treat, he'd like run out of bed all pissed off. He'd come back out looking for a treat. And we're like, no, he'd like, run back. He wouldn't give us any time unless it was for a treat. This was like a while ago now, probably. I don't even know. I'm sure you guys know online. You guys know more when things happen than me. Once it was either yesterday, today, or it might happen tomorrow. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know how long ago it was. I'll try to think about it once in a while, but I'm usually wrong with the time I say. I'll be like, oh, it was a couple years ago, and it's like 20 years ago. Or I'll be like, oh, that was yesterday. It'll be like 15 years ago. And then I'll be like, oh, I think that was a really long time ago, and then it was like yesterday. And I'm like, how does that happen? How am I so wrong? So we did a 25-leg parlay. One of them was gonna win like $1 million on like $2. I was like, the likelihood of that is probably slim to none. Oh, jeez, I just literally kicked that. Like, oops, daisy. Oklahoma messed me up. I was doing really good. And then we had another one, like, they could pay out like $200,000 on like $2. So like, we're just doing these insane parlays. Like, one of these days, one of these is gonna hit. But I get close on these ones, and that's even more frustrating. But Oklahoma lost, and that was like one of the only ones I had wrong. A handful of other ones, but not very many on the 25 leg. Colorado beat them, I guess. We're watching, it's funny, because we watch so many sports that Richard will like, he'll just list off the teams, like especially with college, and I just start making my predictions. He's like, do you know what sport it is? I said, no. He's like, well, doesn't that play a factor? I was like, not really. Not fully. When it comes to college, it's like, I know which colleges have good teams, you know. and which ones don't. Because I don't follow college that closely. With NBA or NFL, yeah, then, but you know if they say the team. But I'm like, now you kind of just know which colleges have good teams, whether it be basketball or football. And I know it's not football anymore, but or baseball. Because now you can start betting on the college baseball, but you can't watch those. They're not televised, at least not here, not on the things we have. But we watch tons of college basketball. That's what we're watching right now. I was doing really good on my bet till I bet on Oklahoma, and Colorado got it. I get stuck in a rut with certain states I have a hard time betting against, but it's a lot of them. So I can barely bet against New York, and I rarely can bet against Oklahoma, and then I often struggle betting against California. But California has so many darn teams, but it's tough. Most California teams I like. The ones I didn't like pretty much have left. Like, I used to not like the Raiders. Got them here. But now I like the Raiders. So my sponsor is also used to go to all the Vegas Knights games. I guess they used to have season tickets. I'm not a big fan of hockey. I like most sports except for hockey. But she said that they've been watching the Olympics. They love the hockey Olympics. And then I guess it's down to like California and Canada. I didn't even California and Canada. United States and California. Can I speak? United States and Canada. No, California, Joy. That's not. And it's very interesting because my client today was from Canada, and he said they are really mad there. Like seriously mad, Canadians. Like, they are, like, a lot of them are banning coming here. So he normally comes with, like, a group of, like, 10 to 20 guys, and none of them would come except for him. He said I didn't care. He wanted to come still gamble or whatever, but all of them said, no, I'm not going to America anymore. So it's not good what's going on right now. I mean, I'm not political, but this is turning into a mess. No matter which side of the fence you're on, it's turning into a real mess. And we're pissing off a lot of countries. And I don't think that's good. So I don't know. You know, I try to stay out of it. The only time I even hear about anything is if my clients tell me, and me and Rich watch late night. Richard loves Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. We love Stephen Colbert, who's about to go away, which sucks. And we love The Daily Show. And who's the other one? Oh, Seth. What's his name? You guys know the Seth, whatever. I can't think of his last name. Seth Meyers? Is Seth Meyers? What's his name? What's his name? The one that he does another. Richard watches all of them. But we realize they all say the same thing. They all say basically the same jokes if you watch them all. Like, they literally have the same writers. They all have writers. Oh, and we watch Bill Maher. Bill Maher. Snooze Fest. We saw Bill Maher in person. Talk about a snooze fest. At the Palms. At the Pearl. I think it's called the Pearl. Pearl Theater. And this was in 2014. The year me and Rich got married. So we've been married 12 years. Oh, there's my water. We've been married 12 years and been together for like 14. Long time. It's so weird when you've been married that long, been together that long. It doesn't feel like that to you. Like, we still think of each other as when we first got together. That's why we're kind of like young at heart, because we still think of each other as when we first met, which we weren't that young, but we were younger than we are now. So we still have a lot of energy. But sometimes I have to remind Richard that I'm like 40, because he's like, he doesn't have the energy yet. I was like, yeah, you met me when I was still in my 20s. He's like, oh yeah, good point. I'm in my 40s. Been a minute. I spent my entire 30s with Richard. It's funny, like, it's crazy. I never have seen my family when I was in my 30s. Last time I saw them, I was in my 20s, and now I'm in my 40s. So it's weird. But it was really cool today because it felt like I had family. My sponsor definitely feels like a mom to me. And then her sponsor feels like grandma. Oh, hey, Ned, I'll be done in a minute here. And Net's about to come out here. So I don't know if Rich is listening. Probably about time to... This is Net's smoking space. And she's just so sweet. She won't ever... She always wants to be like... where she doesn't bother anybody. Like, she's very considerate, and like, she could totally come out here when it bother me, but she won't do that, because she knows that's rude, like, to smoke. But it's so funny because when we first got here, she used to literally smoke in the house and didn't care. It was like ever. But now, as she gets better, she's just so considerate always. She's just so sweet. So, the other day at the meeting, the one yesterday. Oh, I didn't tell you guys. I went to 3 meetings yesterday. Yeah, we ended up going to a 7 o'clock speaker meeting, which was probably not the best idea. But we learned not to go to that one again. This is the second time, but we've learned that we've come a long way in just since December of starting, like, because we went there either that first or second day or the first week in January. I can't remember. Oh, it must have been the first week in January probably, because probably it was that first Friday. Whatever is the first Friday from the 28th of December, whatever date that was. We went to that. It was a speaker meeting, and we thought it was fabulous, but the other speaker was better. They'd flown this guy from Oklahoma last night they had this guy from Las Vegas, but you're not supposed to complain about the meetings in the sense of, like, you're supposed to, take what you can from it and not focus on the negativity. But when it's a speaker meeting, it's kind of hard when it's just a really bad speaker. So a speaker meeting is that, well, some speaker meetings are different, but this one is, he speaks for 45 minutes. So if it's a bad speaker, oh man. So, and this guy just drug on, and it was so boring. Like, he was not interesting at all. And, but all that we learned from that is we're not going to go back to that meeting. Because everyone was saying we should go to the speaker meeting in Summerlin, but we were like, no, we want to go to this one. And and we're like, why don't you guys ever go to this one? And they're like, I don't know, they didn't want to, like, bash it, but we thought it was great the first time. But we realized we've really progressed where when we first started just in December, which, me and Rich both have years of, AA back when we were younger. Him way more than me. He had like 10 years in AA. I had like 4 years in AA. But I was only 22 when I started AA, so it wasn't as impactful as now. A lot of times the young people end up going back out because you're just kind of young, you haven't really experienced life that much. But it'd be nice if you don't, because your life would be a little easier. But sometimes people need to do that, and that's just their journey, But as you get older, I mean, it gets harder and harder to want to, basically F off like kids do. So there should be a point that you kind of nip that kind of craziness in the butt, but not everyone does. And I didn't. Well, I had, and then I, went off the rails this last year when I went to New York back and forth. But now I finally feel like an adult again, like, oh, I feel like a mature adult again. And maybe not with my hair like this. That's just for the blog, make it fun. I don't wear it like this when I'm walking around, but I just make it more interesting. But, because people go, what is up with her hair? Pippi Longstocking. But I keep losing my train of thought. Where was I going with that? I don't know. I was talking about something. Other meetings. Whatever. Richard always gets upset when he forgets something, and like when he loses his train of thought, and he gets really worked up and tries to remember, and I'm like, well, if it's important, it'll come back. And he's like, no, it's not how it works. I'm like, that is how it works. I think it's important. And like, no, it's gone forever. And I'm like, nah, it's important. You'll get it back. Don't worry about it. But he gets really worked up about it. But the more you try to focus on it, like, the less. Do you ever try to think of, like, the name of a movie or the name of an actor, and like, the more you think of it, you just can't. And then as soon as you stop thinking about it, but so I just kind of let the thoughts go. They obviously wasn't that important. But yeah, I think I was saying I feel really accepted. And it's cool because today really did feel like I was having, like, breakfast with, like, my mom and my grandparents and stuff, It was, like, weird. And I haven't had anything like that in 20 years, So it was a good experience. And they shared some wonderful stories with me. Like this story of, a guy letting down his daughter by breaking his sobriety because he had like a year and a half, and his daughter was counting like every day, and then, you know, he broke his sobriety, and he was just like, oh, it's not a big deal. And she's like, yes, it is, because he didn't even know she was doing that. Like, she was marking off the day. That's what I've been doing. You know, you cross off the day. And like, so the topic today was people letting down their kids because they're drinking, you know, their family, but primarily the kids. I didn't share today because there's, well, I don't have children, but also it could have been, you could have just said family, but it was the birthday, and it was primarily people talking to the guy who was his birthday. Whenever there's like a really big sobriety birthday, a lot of the meeting is people will come in to, you know, say nice things to that person. Like they came just to, you know, be there for their birthday. So I did realize I didn't know the guy. Like I just met him today, very nice man. But I wasn't. It wasn't my place to speak because I don't have children, and I didn't know him. So everyone else wants to. That meeting you can barely. Everyone's like trying to. You have to. Other meetings that we go to the two. Other meeting it goes around the room and it comes to you or it doesn't, depending on how much time there is, or depending on where it started. And you never know where it's going to start. It doesn't start at the same place, so you can't like predict by saying, oh, I'm going to sit here so it doesn't come to me. No, because what they do is they pick a different person every day that's going to do the reading, so you never know who that person's going to be. So if people often go like, oh man, I sat here thinking I was going to be far away, and they'll be like right next to the person, which is funny. But this other meeting that has my sponsor, you just start talking. You don't raise your hand, you start talking. So often people are literally stepping over each other because if people want to share so much of that meeting, so I was like, no need today. But that's probably like the first time I haven't shared in several days because we've been being in the group that shares every time at our other meeting. It's funny, we're like, how did we get we're here again? But, because they'll even go out of like order, then get back, wait, now we're going this direction or something? Because there's like a row and another row there, so sometimes like it'll bounce around and like go from like, and then there's people that kind of sit even further back. Sometimes it'll just kind of go different ways, and so you're like, hey, how did it end up coming to us? But it's funny. It's one of those jokes. I mean, everyone loves sharing, but it's also like it's this funny thing that people always like, how'd it come to me? But anyways, I think came back to me what I was gonna say, and then I lost it again. As I was thinking that, I thought of the other thing I was going to say, whatever. But I'm pretty excited just about this whole process because it's pretty much going a million times better than I thought it would. And everyone's just so welcoming. So, but yeah, so I guess the story was then, you know, the daughter had been marking the calendar and then, you know, just really crushed her, and then she never did it again. You know, now the guy's got 23 years, but he asked her, "Do you do a calendar?" And she's like, "No." You know, I mean, it was like he kind of crushed her as a young girl. And I'm like, thank goodness I don't have children when I was drinking. That's got to be hard because everyone was crying today about it. You know, about what the damage they've done to their children. And I can only imagine because I know the damage I've done to myself and the family here, but no one's a child here, so it's like it's got to be tough. A lot of people are estranged from their children and stuff in a lot of the meetings. But yeah, so the 7 a.m. meeting has these really nice chairs because it's in a church. And the 8 a.m. meeting has absolutely horrible chairs. We bring a pillow for Rich. He threw out his back the one time. And the one lady lays on the floor. She says she brings a yoga mat and lays on the floor. She says, I can't handle these chairs. They're like really uncomfortable folding chairs, but not like the metal folding chairs. They're like the plastic ones, but the ones where like back sticks out and like jabs you in the back, and then they're really weird. But at the other one we go to is at a church, and they have two sets of chairs. They have one that's like those blue, you know, like you see those ones where there's like blue on the back and blue on the end. They're padded, but they're kind of like smaller. And those are comfortable enough, but then they have these big old padded ones that I think they have during the church surface. I mean, you feel like you're sitting in it's a couch, but they're really heavy, and they stack them really high. And we have to bring out all the chairs and put them back for this meeting because, you know, at the church you have to clean up and stuff. Leave it the way you got it. So there's this one lady, very nice old lady, beautiful old lady. I mean, so many people in AA are so good looking. It was like older. You're like, wow, like just their skin and just everything because they stopped drinking so many years ago, you know, and they don't age as much, you know, and they probably eat pretty healthy. Alcohol really ages you. So it's just shocking something you see in some of these older ladies. You're like, my goodness, stunning old. I mean, they're older. I mean, some like Gloria's age, and they're just gorgeous women. So this one lady, she's probably in her 70s, if I were to guess, probably about 75. Nice lady. She said she's had like 2 husbands die on her. She's like on her 3rd husband. 2 of them already died. Very sweet lady. She was doing Zoom for a long time because I guess she had injured her shoulder or something. So she just started coming to the meetings. Super sweet lady. And so yesterday when we were running late, she was also running late because there was an accident on the highway. So a bunch of us were running late to the meeting because we all were in the same traffic from this accident on the 215. So me and Rich get like the last 2 seats in this one area, but then there's 2 other seats because it's like that room fills up. There's like no seats. So you have to go get. They have them in the other room where they got the coffee, but they're stacked up and they're really heavy. So there was 2 other seats, but they were like kind of hard to see. I don't know if she didn't see them. So she comes in and she came in after us. She was even later than us, and she sits down on the floor next to Richard, and I'm like, she's like a 75-year-old lady. I was like, oh, are you kidding? No. So I said, oh, I'm not gonna say her name. I said, I'll get you a chair. She's like, oh no. I said, oh, you can't sit on the floor. But you know the meeting's going on. So I'm trying to whisper. So I go and it's next door. Well, these things are like super heavy and they're stacked like really high. So I'm like, everyone's seeing me because they can see me. It's like another room, but there's you see right through the door. There's where they have the coffee and stuff, so you can see. And everyone's I'm like trying to hoist this chair. And I'm like, but I'm like, I'm gonna get this chair for her. I got it, but I was like, good Lord. I guess she had tried to get it. She couldn't lift it. She's like, yeah, it's too heavy. I couldn't lift it. I was like, no wonder, darn thing. But so I got it for her, and but everyone in the room was like, oh, so nice. I'm like, it's going to help me try to lift the darn thing. So you men, guys. But it's just funny how whole group could let her sit on the floor. People are just funny. Like we're taught to, like, treat everyone good and stuff. And it's just so funny how people just sometimes forget about the little things. Like, you got a 75-year-old lady sitting on the floor. No one's gonna get her chair. Like, the other chairs are just, you just gotta go into the room to get them. I'll never sit on the floor, my goodness. I'll get it. I'm like the smallest person here. I'll go lift this chair. But, anyways. But I'm noticing more things like that. I'm just starting to pay attention. Because I was very in my own self and selfish and unaware of others. So I've been noticing, I've been really doing little things like that. Not to pat myself on the back, just more being like conscious. Because a lot of people are just in their own little world and not noticing, like, not that they were not wanting to help, they just didn't even think about it, because they're too much in their own brain. So I'm just noticing, like, little things, and gosh, the miracles just keep piling in, like, especially with work. It's just like, oh, just in the right nick of time. And then my clients have been phenomenal lately, which I'm like, what? This is nice. It's been a long time since my job was like this. Wow. It's effortless. And it hasn't been that way since way before the pandemic. Pandemic made it a million times harder than it ever was before. So, it's starting to come back around, and I'm positive about that. Feeling good. Oh, and my sponsor's current job is real estate. So if I want to get back into real estate, that's the other thing. So sure, parents were in the Air Force, so I was in the Air Force. She was a flight attendant. I was on the AWACS plane, which I was an airborne surveillance instructor, so I flew on the plane, which, we spent similar amount of time in the air probably. And I also wanted to be a flight attendant when I was younger. Like, that's something I wanted to do. I just didn't ever do it, but I considered it, And then I did real estate for 7 years, and she's in real estate, so I don't know, there's a lot of similarities, and I'm really excited. And I kind of had to can the other lady. I mean, I think we're going to meet on Tuesday. I don't know for sure. I think she's mad at me because she was really aggressive. She wanted to be like my secondary sponsor, which I don't really feel comfortable with that because I think it's kind of disrespectful to my sponsor. She says that people do that, but I'm like, I don't think I want to. One thing, they were telling me contradictory things, so I'm like, this is not going to work for me. One told me not to share. One told me to share every meeting. And it's like, you guys are putting too much contradictory things. So I told her, we can meet on Tuesdays, but she was wanting to meet like every other day with me, and I'm like, I didn't meet that much with my main sponsor. So and she's just aggressive and pushy. And Richard didn't like her very much because she's very rude to everyone in the meeting except for me, and she's not that nice to me. It's like I was the only person she liked. She like vultured on me because she was new to the meeting, and she's not new to sobriety, but she was new to this meeting. She just moved from like Oregon, like Portland, which is funny because that's where Richard's from. But yeah, she like vultured on me in the meeting and rude to everyone else, and it's almost like embarrassing because I'm like, no one really likes you. You're rude to everybody, and I kind of don't want to associate with you because I don't know, like. Careful who you keep, as your friends, because it's most people think that you're similar to the people you hang out with, and that came out there to smoke. So, yeah, it's about time. How long has it been?
It's about time.
Yeah, I felt bad. That was a long time ago she came out here, but
yeah, I think she went for a walk anyways.
Oh, how'd she go? She doesn't pass.
She's walking around outside the back.
Oh, through the garage?
Yeah, she was going for a walk.
Oh, so she's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna kill it because I'm ready to eat some dinner.
Oh, okay. You're not gonna talk?
I talked to him earlier today.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a great time, you guys. Thank you. It's actually nice out here. I actually could have almost wore a t-shirt at some point out here. It's getting nice. Bye, everybody. Happy Saturday.